Welcome back in with King family to another F1 Clash video, and we're here for the Community Choice British Grand Prix boost guide event, where we're going to be sharing with you guys the best boosts that we think you should use to improve your score of the British Grand Prix events. All right, so the event has not yet been posted in game, but I do have the tracks here, and we're going to be going through the boost. For those of you who are brand new to the boost guide video, we're going to break down the meaning of the boost we're telling you guys to select as well for you guys. All right, so let's jump on into it. So we see the first race coming up is going to be United Kingdom. It's going to be 5% chance of wet. United Kingdom is one of those tracks where if it's wet or dry, it's just one category of boost for the United Kingdom, and that is going to be corners and speed. All right, so when I say corners and speed, any boost with the arrow is classified as corners. As you can see, the arrow is corners, and any boost with the speed is that gear ratio, rev meter going all the way up. That's speed. All right, so if you see me say corners and speed, then a boost like this speed will be good for the United Kingdom, and a boost like this with corners will be good. Now, if it's wet, you want to go for a boost with wetness ability. If it's dry, you want to go for a boost without wetness ability, but it has the corners in there. So corners and speed is going to be the boost for the United Kingdom. After the United Kingdom, it's going to be Belgium, which is going to be the Spa, another track where corners and speed rocks. So you want to go for any boost that gives you high amount of corners and high amount of speed. There is no one boost that gives you both corners and speed, so you have to go one boost with high corners and one boost with high speed, or you could go a boost like the Lumberjack that gives you overtake and speed and tire management. Throwing in those other aspects in there is also good, and tire management is always good in the game, doesn't care where. Tire management is always good. The Gladiator right here that gives you speed and fuel with blocking is really good. So you want your main focus is going to be the speed and the boost with corners. All right, so that's what you're going to be using for your Belgium. Now Bahrain coming up after Belgium is going to be corners and grip, and once again, corners and grip now is a kind of different ballpark. We have a good amount of boost with both corners and grip, like the Kawhi here. Really nice boost to have. So this boost can be used at Bahrain if you're going for that corners and grip, or if you want to go for a higher corners and grip, then you could go for a boost like the Reindeer. Though it's a wetness ability boost, mostly effective in the wet, you still get that 5 grip out of the Reindeer there. And if you want to go for another boost that gives you like 5 corners, then you go for like the skull boost here that gives you that 5 corners. All right, the UK is going to be finishing off after Bahrain as the 4th race in the qualifying round, and that is going to be corners and speed again. So the same boost that you use for your first UK race, you could use that for your last UK race. However, this last UK race is going to be 63% chance of rain, so I expect it to be mostly a wet race. So you want to go for those corners and speed with wetness ability. So a boost like the Hex here will do really well. A boost like the Tune really well there, the Prince really well, the Exception really well for those tracks. All right, so that covers your qualifying round, and we're now going to be jumping into the opening and final round for their boosts. All right, so first up in the opening round, we see the United Kingdom coming in at 19% chance of rain. All of the United Kingdom races in this event have some chance of rain in there. So be mindful of that to keep your eyes out for the wetness there. All right, so the United Kingdom coming in with 19% chance of rain. A boost like the Cuppa is really good. What a lot of people don't know is that acceleration and speed is basically the same thing. But this boost is pretty good for the wet. As you see, it has 5 wetness ability there in the rain. All right, so you could go for the Cuppa or you could go dry, corners, and speed based on what kind of race you got. If it's a wet or a dry race, you want to go for that corners and speed. All right. So after the United Kingdom, it's going to be the UAE. And the UAE is corners and grip. So you want to come back to boosts like the Jin here that gives you grip and corners for the UAE. And you could go Jin with one driver, and then you could go like odd with one driver that gives you corners and grip with some pit time as well. All right, any boost that gives you some pit time is really good, especially if it has that corners and grip in there. These boosts that gives you pit time, like the Tulip boost, is kind of not really good because you only have that pit time in there, and blocking and reliability is not going to do too much for you throughout the race. However, those stats would have done good if in qualifying. If you could select boost before qualifying, then the Tulip boost would be a good boost to use there, but other than that, it's not a good boost to use. The Nazar with grip and tires is really nice for those high grip races. If you want to go for a high grip boost, you could go Nazar, get some grip and tire management. The reliability doesn't really affect your game. It only allows your servicing time to complete a little bit faster, but yeah, that's what it is. All right, so the next race up is going to be Japan, and we see corners and grip again being the main focus at Japan. Then we have Canada, and then we have Australia, and all three of these tracks, all four of them, as a matter of fact, in that little section, UAE all the way to Australia, is going to be corners and grip. All right, so corners and grip for all those tracks from the UAE down to Australia. Another boost that is really good, corners and grip, is going to be the dead fast. I don't have a lot of it, so I'm not going to be trying to get any, so I don't really use as much anymore. But the dead fast, corners and grip with tire management, anywhere you could get corners and grip with tire management is really good. So you see we got some grip here with some tire management for the Rooster, really good. Anywhere you could get tire management with your corners and grip for your race, really good. The Eternal Flame here, grip with tire management. Eagle, grip with tire management, really good. The Taurus with corners and tire management, really good for those tracks. All right, so you could select any one of those, any two, make a pair out of any two of those set of boosts that gives you that corners and grip. The Nazar as well, corners and grip with tires as well for those tracks. All right. Now we see Spain coming in after our Australia race, and Spain is going to be 13% chance of rain. However, if it's dry at Spain, we see corners and fuel playing the major aspect at Spain here. So if it's a dry race at Spain, then corners and fuel. If it's a wet race at Spain, then it's going to be corners and speed. All right, so boost like the Movember boost here, you could go give that a chance. Corners is in there, and it gives you blocking and consistency, so you can give that a try if you have some of that. Boost that we normally don't use in a game is like the Movember boost right there. Don't think I've ever used any of that boost at all. The Pretzel, I don't think I've ever used this one either, and I don't think I've ever used the Rainbow as well. So maybe we'll see some overall of the boost system in the new season, and Hutch could change up some of these boosts, give them some value. The Hook seems to be a good boost. I've never used it before though, so you guys can give that a try if you have it. The Herald, another good boost. Acceleration at 5 with overtaking and fuel, but I don't really use that at either. All right. So a lot of boosts in there that we normally don't use, but corners and fuel for Spain if it's dry, and corners and speed if it's wet. All right, Austria coming up is basically corners and speed for Austria. If you're gonna go for the fastest lap, you want to go for a boost with high corners or a boost with high speed, like the dead fast or the fireworks, or the boost that you want to be going to the eclipse or the boost you want to be going to for your Austria race. So you could get the fastest lap with your first driver. Second driver, you could go like high corners with the Skull, and he should still do really well in that race. All right, so the final race is going to be back at the United Kingdom, and you already know it's going to be speed and corners for the United Kingdom. So we don't really need to go over that one, and hopefully that gives you guys a good event. All right, so for the upcoming event, we also see Lando Norris and is it Charles Leclerc? Yeah, Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris getting a 20% buff, and we saw the last event where we see George Russell and Carlos Sainz getting a 20% buff, and they were like really good with the 20% buff. So I expect Lando Norris and Leclerc to be even better with the 20% buff. So if you have not won your Contenders GP for your team score, this event is another event to go for it and give it your best shot to get that GP 70%, at least 70% in the GP event. So you can get at least the next tier in your gold frame package. If you're already at 95%, then you really don't need to do it. You don't really need it because you're already at 95%. The only way you're going to be moving from 95% to 100% is if you're looking to max out every asset in the game, and if you're close to maxing out all the assets in the game, then you could definitely go for it for the extra CC points and extra rewards. All right, so that's basically gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you guys get some help from this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are doing as well, and what are your plans. Make sure you use these guides for your planning of your GP races, and use code word sprint race down below to let me know that you made it to this portion of the video. One of these sprint events, we're going to do some live streams and do a few sprint race in there. All right, but that's basically going to be it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember to smash the like button. Walk good, guys. Bye. Shout out to Vid Mantis, Alfredo Jr., Touch My Dilly, and Xavier Magni.
And they say if we'll only avoid any confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways.